Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout for Cheeky Studio. And don't forget to use my code if you place an order, 10% off Nicole Jones 911. Now let's get into the layout. Now, when we got our kits this month, there was a sheet that had 4 sketches and I thought, you know what? I'm going to use a couple of those sketches. So I showed you the one that I want to use and it was the one with the circle. Now this is my circle cutter. I don't believe those are for sale anymore, but they're called EK Success Circle Cutter and you use them with a glass mat. I just made sure that I cut a large circle, and then from that circle, I don't want to waste the whole thing in behind my layout. So I'm going to just cut the top and the bottom, and then I'll be able to use the center of it. So I already know that's what I plan on doing, but I thought I want to make sure not to cut too much of the circle and then I can't use the center part of it or not cut enough and then it's, sort of wasted. So I decided to cut the other compartments first. Now I did use the blue pattern paper, and that is, I think most of them are from Amy Tangerine, the new collection, and there's one We Are Memory Keeper pattern papers. And I cut about a 4.5-inch strip because my photos are 4x4. Now I have 2 photos that I printed on my Canon Selphy printer. They're up almost 4x4. I think they're 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I put them side by side. I mounted it in the center of my cardstock. And then I'm using my Perfect Layer tools. And there's little lips on that ruler, and you can have different width of mat around your photo, and I most of the time choose the 1/16 of width around my photos. I just like that size of mat. So now that I have most of my stuff ready, you saw me, I just cut a little bit of the top of the circle, a little bit on the bottom, because it's going to be in the back of that blue pattern paper, and then that way it leaves about a 4-inch strip, and I'm able to cut it in half to make that third layer, just flipping the pattern paper. And then I still have to make a piece of paper which I'm going to cut into a banner. I cut it at about 3 inches by 9 inches, and I'm just going to take one side of it and I'm going to turn it into a banner. And I basically have the sketch all done. I just got to start putting everything together. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm just going to talk about the pictures for a little bit. Now, these pictures are of my new reading chair. I got a new reading chair and it came in this past Saturday. So I think it was like the 18th or the 19th, which was Saturday. And I absolutely love it. I usually read in my bed, and it's just really hard on the back. Plus you feel like you're in bed all the time when you're reading. So we went to get a freezer for my daughter because they're talking about moving out after, they get married and everything. And, when you live in an apartment, the little freezer that you have is just not enough. So we went and got them a small freezer, as part of their wedding gift. And while we were there, I looked and there was this chair that was on clearance. So I was able to get that chair and I absolutely love it. I've already spent a few hours in it reading. So of course I had to do a layout about it right away. Now let's talk a little bit about this kit. This is, like I said, it's a Cheeky Studio kit. Now they offer monthly kits. This is the second one. The first one was in July, and now this is the August one. And she puts in different stuff from different companies, but also there's exclusive stuff to Cheeky Studio. Now you'll see I'm going to use some of the die cuts from the Notebook Nancy, I think it's called. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the little girls, and it works out perfectly. The little girl that I choose kind of looks like woohoo, looking sideways, and I placed her on the layout so that she's kind of looking at the chair, so it works out perfectly. This was a branding strip from one of the papers, and I love using branding strip. I have a spot in my scrap room where I keep all my branding strips, but a lot of times when I cut them off the paper, I usually try to use, if I cut 2 or 3 papers and there's, one on each, then I can't use all 3 on one layout, but I'll try to use at least the 1, and then I only have to put away 2. But I love when pattern papers companies do that. They put a branding strip. It just gives you just that little something, to add to the layout. And this one was pink and it had black and cream flowers, so it worked out perfectly. So this is the little girl I was talking about. So now I'm going through the ephemera pack that came from Cheeky Studio, and I just loved it. And this card right here says plan on it, and I had seen one of those round chairs even before we started building. We started, planning and stuff, and we were looking at furniture and that kind of stuff, and I had seen a chair, and it was a round chair like that, and it was a zebra print, and I absolutely loved it. But it was ridiculous, the amount that they wanted for it. Plus, we weren't ready to buy our furniture yet. But I kept that in mind, so I was planning on getting one of these chairs one of these days. Now, when we bought our furniture, I didn't see this type of chair when we bought our furniture, because I probably would have bought it then, but I didn't see it. But because we, we're going for something else, I'm like, hey, let's see if they have some of those chairs. And they did. They had one, and like I said, they had it on clearance, so we got it for a really good price. Now I'm using the alphas that were from Maggie Holmes in the kit, and I'm just writing down, writing down, I guess, but using letter stickers, reading chair. And as you can tell, it kind of gets lost on the background, but you'll see what I'll do later on to try to make it so that it sticks out a little bit more. Now, what I love about using a sketch is that, I got sort of the meat of the layout done. I got what I wanted my background to look. I did keep in mind, I kept looking at the sketch once in a while, but then I always make sure that I go with the embellishments too. So in the sketch, there was nothing left of the banner, but I wanted to use that plan on it, so I thought it looked perfectly well right there. And then on the sketch, there was a banner at the top of the layout, so I just put a little banner, and then I was able to use one of those cameras that I cut out of that blue pattern paper. The back side of that is all cameras, so I absolutely want to use that camera on almost every layout that I put together, because whenever I have a pattern paper that has the cameras, I want to make sure to use it. I'm going to add a few enamel dots, and then I think I'm done. Or first, I guess, I'm going to take my pen and I outline each and every one of those letters. And then it makes the title, you'll see in the photos that follow, it makes the title pop on the page a whole lot more. Then I think I'm going to be done, and I'm going to turn off the camera. And as I pack away, I notice that, hey, I didn't use any of the extra stuff that came in a kit. I just used the ephemera that came from Cheeky Studio. So I turn the camera back on, and I'm going to add a few word stickers, and then the page will be completed. And I just want to remind you, if you want to know anything about Cheeky Studio, I'll have everything in the description box below. I absolutely love their kits. I love how this page turned out. And don't forget my discount code for 10% off all your orders, not on the kits though, but all the other stuff on the site. And that's it. That's going to complete this layout. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.